Well, this is delightful. Just delightful. Fox News. You know Trump watches Fox News nonstop. And so I always love to imagine him having to be delivered by the people he loves so dear. News that is so devastating. Which is what I have for you here. Fox News painfully having to report on numbers that are truly hard to get one's mind around. And that is this.
This just in, the Harris campaign has raised a whopping $310 million this month alone in July. This raises the presumptive Democratic nominee's cash on hand because she got Joe Biden's to $377 million. So money won't be a problem.
Money not a problem, at least for the moment. And as the Veep stakes heats up, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, you're looking at him. He's canceling his weekend fundraising plans in the Hamptons. And there's speculation that this is a sign he may be tapped as Harris's running mate. She's expected to unveil her pick on Tuesday in Philadelphia.
That's right.
And now he's going to have a very free weekend.
And so is Andy Beshear. He also canceled a bunch of stuff. And former President Biden and vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance are holding a...
Did he say former President Biden about Trump?
And former President Biden and vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance are holding a rally in Georgia tomorrow, just days after Harris held an event at exactly the same venue. So it'll be interesting to see what's when you look at that gigantic pile of cash, $310 million, 2/3 of it came from first-time donors and 94% under $200, which is...
Wow! Oh my goodness, I missed that part. 94% under $200. So not big billionaires, bunch of money, right? The bulk of it, essentially all of it, came from people donating a normal, reasonable amount. Small dollar donors. And I couldn't find a relation to this full $300+ million, but USA Today did report on the initial batch of 100 million, and that was comprised of 1.1 million individuals. So what they want you to believe, MAGA that is that, yeah, who really cares that she's raising so much money? Because that's obviously George Soros, as they always bring up, or some creepy, dark backroom deal with the billionaire that caused some other billionaire that caused that amount of money to be raised. No, this is small dollar donors giving what they can, understanding the importance of this election, and 2/3 of those people are first-time donors to the Biden/Harris campaign. So these are not reoccurring, normal, have always been pumped about defeating Trump. These are people newly engaging, newly contributing, and millions of people doing so. That's so exciting. And I know that people absolutely rationally feel a little icky about how much money goes into these elections and how whacked our campaign finance system is. Totally true, totally reasonable. We're working with the system we have now, and within that system, this is a really good sign. And I'm waiting a little bit longer to do a full review of the swing we've seen in polling, but Kamala Harris, based on recent polls, is making up a lot of ground. And Nate Silver, even, the election guy, forecasting person, has shifted where he was saying Trump is favored. Now he's back to saying it's a toss-up, which means give it a few more weeks of this and we could be in favored Kamala Harris territory. Regardless, we do the same thing and the same amount of work. But here's this from Media. Vice President Kamala Harris' campaign reported that a whopping $310 million was raised in the month of July, with record-breaking figures posted after Harris took over for President Joe Biden following his withdrawal on July 21st. And remember that this is record-breaking, what we're seeing. The 24 hours after Harris became the presumptive nominee quite literally broke presidential fundraising records. I'm curious to hear after this what the response was from these hosts?
Is extraordinary.
And the advantage for Harris coming up, the VP pick traditionally, this is something that's going to fuel donations in a positive news cycle. Then you got the DNC, which is going to fuel donations in a positive news cycle. And this is why I think Trump needs to come out and say, hey, I want to debate, and I want to debate now. Do not let her raise this money. Do not let her get these positive tailwinds. Come out, demand a debate, prosecute the case against Kamala Harris.
He said,
I think she's the one who's going to be prosecuting the case against Trump. And also, I'll note, and we have a few different things to look in this segment. Stick around for it if you would. But I'll note that a debate is not the way that you suppress fundraising. Even with Biden's disastrous debate, he still raised a ton of money during the debate. It actually fuels fundraising. It's a great point, though, from a very dishonest person, Kayleigh McEnany, which is that this may just be the beginning. And I find this, I should probably hold on the point I'm about to make because this is really relevant to what was brought up about the debates. Here was Trump in that interview we covered.
They say, oh, Trump's, not doing the debate. That's the same thing they'll say now. I mean, right now I say, why should I do a debate? I'm leading in the polls. And everybody knows her. Everybody knows me. She wants, they say, oh, Trump's.
He's so scared. He's so scared. Wow. But what I was going to say was, what does money help you do? It helps you open more campaign offices, get more people on the ground. Obviously, television ads, social media ads, etc. And what does that do? Well, in any campaign, people will do dishonest messaging or just attack stuff, distort the facts. What I said in the Pete Buttigieg segment we did was, you don't need any of that to defeat Trump because of the facts of this election. The better candidate just is Kamala Harris. Trump is a disaster. And so what you need to do is just reach people. Because people, if they could have explained, as I've done in my personal life over and over again recently, if you just reach people, go through who Trump is, his record, his agenda, go through the same for Kamala Harris, most people, those gettable swing voters, sort of, oh, wait, you're right. Let's go ahead and protect democracy while continuing common sense governance. But it takes money to reach those people. It takes money to go on the ground and do the work, to reach them through ads. And so a lot of money actually facilitates the very thing I was mentioning earlier, which is just delivering those facts to people and then letting them make up their own mind, which I think most people will make the correct decision if they understand the stakes. Think about this. All the people who watch the show regularly, if you divide just the people who aren't subscribed, that group, if each and every one of you click the subscribe button today, we'd be instantly to 1 million subscribers. That'd be pretty cool. Click it if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Back to the video. By the way, another thing that should give you hope is that this is how they're attacking Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that's DEI. And this sums up the Biden-Harris administration's fixation with it, because it gives them the veneer of being champions of minorities and women. And Harris knows how to lay it on really thick at her sorority event last night.
And please have a seat. I thought everyone was standing. If you have a seat, please have a seat. Thank you all. And to all the members of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
That's really funny. And
What is wrong with you, Laura? Be a normal person. I think we might have to watch that clip again. What was that? Today's been a wild day, I know. My full show viewers, you've seen me in all sorts of crazy moods today. What is that? She smiled, laughed a little as she's having a human get this, a human interaction, connecting with people, Laura. It feels good if you try it. If you look at people and think, there are more people in this world than just me, and that's one of them. That's one of them. That's one of them. Let me see if I can connect with them on a human level, because we're both humans. And that's what she did. I don't even know. Let's watch this again. This is stunning. If this is the attack against Kamala Harris, oh man, we're going to be popping the champagne. Not yet. But if this is their only attack. Oof.
Yeah, that's DEI. And this sums up the Biden-Harris administration's fixation with it, because it gives them the veneer of being champions of minorities and women. And Harris knows how to lay it on really thick at her sorority event last night.
And please have a seat. I thought everyone was standing. If you have a seat, please have a seat. Thank you all. And to all the members of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
That's really funny.
You know, have you ever had those questions asked to you? I'm trying to remember where I've heard this, but there are these questions you can ask people, and the joke is like social media trends. This is something that went around on TikTok or something for a while, and you would ask like one question, and if the person you're asking it to could think of an answer, the correct answer, then they're a sociopath. Sort of, if their brain works in a certain way to be able to figure out the answer, then they're a sociopath. That was the trend, okay? I think if you play that clip for a human being on planet Earth, and their reaction is this.
That's really funny.
They might be a sociopath, okay? Seeing someone smile and laugh at a crowd as the crowd's roaring for them, because I think while she's laughing, she's sort of blown away by their energy. If your reaction's, ugh, 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 it's a you problem. It's not me, it's you, okay? That's what I have to say to Laura Ingraham. I did see that Asen, who posted this clip, said, did they play the right clip? I was curious about that too, because Kamala Harris was supposed to be exploiting her identity to make people think she's advocating on their behalf when really she's not, and it's just identity politics. It's DEI. But then they just play a clip of her saying, you can sit down. Ha ha. Hi, everybody. Maybe it was the wrong clip, and that's why it was so strange. But I want to say as well, it would be cool, and it does mean something. Representation does impact people. It does. Seeing certain identities represented in positions of power, seeing our country reflected in positions of power, right? And you would never, or you should never, sacrifice qualifications, but Kamala Harris is very qualified, so it'd be very exciting to sort of see glass ceilings broken. All that's awesome. But it's so silly when MAGA tries to act like that's what we think advocating for, as she said, minority groups or women looks like. You know, our case for those groups and all people in this country is not just identity based. It's actually, at least the case I'm making, you could, as we saw, regardless of the identity, we're making the same case. When Biden was the candidate, a very similar case to Kamala Harris, with the added note that she would be historic. That's cool. But also the policy case for women or certain minority populations or just any American I talk to. The explanation is because we're trying to protect all people's rights, women's rights included. We're trying to protect people's right to a functioning democracy, their children's right to live in school and not feel threatened, people's rights to be safe in their communities, people's rights to health care. The policies that we want to implement to uplift all people, including MAGA, those are the policies that give us the justification to say we're the ones for this group and that group and all people. It's not just because of Kamala Harris's identity. And you thinking that, again, it's not me, it's you. It's a problem with your thinking, okay? Because that's not the case we're making. Tim Pool, by the way, posted this. Kamala Harris is going to win in a 49-state landslide. I guess he's being sarcastic, doing sarcasm. But I don't know if he is, then I guess he's saying there's no way she could win. What's the point there? Ha ha ha, because she's not. Yeah, neither candidate's going to win in a 49 state landslide, but she very well could win. But one of the points they're trying to make is that the media is going to sell such a fake version of Kamala Harris to the American people that they're pretending like she should win in that sort of landslide, and it's fraudulent. But in reality, if she does win, I do think she has a case for why she should be president, and I'm making that case. I think she's very qualified. Prosecutor, then DA, then Attorney General, then Senator, then Vice President. That's a lot of qualifications. She has a case for why you should vote for her, not just against Trump. But also, MAGA, if she does end up winning and you think she's so unpopular and no one could ever like her, think about maybe for a moment also why people are voting against Trump. That's your guy they're voting against. All your feelings about Kamala Harris, just like when they would say Biden campaigned out of his basement, which isn't technically true the way they say it, but at the same time, if it were, and he beat your guy, oof. Let me know what you thought of all that in the comments. If you want to get extra content daily, you can do so by clicking the join button below.